Go. All right, the mics are on. Glasses are full. It's time for the Craft Beer Ballers. How you doing today, Kevin?
I'm doing fine, man. What's going on out there?
Not much
all the way
today.
out there, 10 miles away from me.
All the way out. It's like Max Beyond Thunderdome now, man. It's like crazy. Even though we're like not that far away, it feels like an ocean. So, and even though
long distance hugs.
London, it does. You know, what's further away is our guest today, Justin from Drink Local, Florida. How you doing today, Justin?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Doing great. Like, you're even further away. You're literally all the way in like Bradenton, right?
Yeah, I'm just south of the Skyway. So, I mean, I'm not too far, but, you know, there's a bridge between us. So,
kicking it out of Manatee.
Yep.
Oh yeah. See, yeah. There's a whole bridge down there. It's like far away. It's really not that far away. I mean, I think Bradenton, honestly, from where I sit right now, Bradenton's probably about like 40 minutes, 45. It's about 45 minutes away.
Well,
I
made a ton of trips to Bradenton as an adolescent. My father had an aunt that was out there. It was elderly. And I got to say, the last 3 times I've been to Bradenton were easily the most exciting times I've ever had in that city.
I know. That's the thing. I kind of admit, we've always had some. We've done a few shows down there, and yeah, we got some. It's been a mixed bag, but we've had a couple really good shows. Like our Three Keys shows are always awesome.
Yeah,
those are the last ones.
They were always great to us.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, it's you know, there's a lot here now. You know, it used to kind of just be Motorworks in Darwin for a while, and that's kind of out west in Bradenton, and now there's more kind of moving in, more in like Lakewood Ranch, east, like closer to I-75.
Yeah.
Okay.
Corporate ladders is so clutch because they're like, it doesn't matter, you know, where you live. If you can get to I-75, you can get to corporate ladder, you know, pretty quickly. I mean, they're literally, once you exit, they're right there.
Yeah.
They're the first turn. So
That's the ideal place to be, especially trying to pull people from the north.
Such a good spot. It's a new spot. Like that rent has to be a lot less expensive than, you know, most of the other like developed areas. This is like it's a brand new area. So
yeah, for sure.
There yet, but they're building some new neighborhoods, so they'll grow.
Well,
they got something in your glass there, man. What you drinking?
Yeah, check in.
Finishing up. I know you said the glasses are full. My glass is just about done, but Big Top, caramel brownie brown ale.
Nice.
The crowd man, opened a while ago. And I got when I'm done with this, I have a Calusa Brewing Happy Colors double IPA.
Oh, nice.
So that sounds so good.
That does sound good. I could use some Dippas in my fridge right now.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
I started off with this brown ale. It's like sub 5% ABV, but this is 8.5. So.
Oh yeah, power move. So
I'm crushing a 10%er from our friends up in Delaware.
Nice.
This is their Syrah infused Imperial Stout.
Ooh, yum.
Okay.
Gotten some serious red wine smell.
Okay, wow.
Way more I was expecting.
Yeah, they like to do that. They like grape-based, wine-based stuff. Like they like to experiment. They're one of the few that seem to like to experiment with that type of stuff.
Ooh.
How is it?
Complex. It's complex. Not as much body as I was kind of expecting, but I mean there is some, but it's complex. I guess I think about the thing I really like in an Imperial Stout, but this just kind of feels like I'm drinking like I feel like I had like a half mouthful of a really big bold red, and then I just took a swig of Imperial Stout.
Oh wow!
So having them both together, it's a little bit of a fight. It's good though. Like in that you're not going to replicate that flavor.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't try to homebrew this. How's that?
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of the stuff that Dogfish Head does, it's very much like it's like their own brand of weird. You know,
it's kind of like it's like a piece of art. It's like it's a piece of art that someone made, not really intending on getting to be printed and sold. So therefore, it's like, well, this is just what I felt that day, and I did it. And it feels like a real, true kind of art, like one-off.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you really like the painting. You just recognize that someone made a painting and they told you what they did.
Yeah, they just did some piece of art that it's exhibit worthy, maybe not. It's not those
because of who the artist is. I would call it exhibit worthy. But
yeah.
I mean, it's also because he probably owns the whole museum too.
Probably so. It's in his museum. Yes.
But is it good? Yeah, it's good and it's interesting, and I cannot compare this to another beer. I can't think of another beer I've had that's similar to this.
Yeah,
So
I appreciate that. Like, even if it's not a home run, it's like, would you like? What if, like, think about music? Like, what if every song was just like a pop song, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to kind of balance that. Like, we got to make output that's going to be popular, but we also want to experiment and push the envelope and try new things and be different. And,
I agree.
Oh yeah. Well, it's those outliers that kind of stretch the industry. I mean, in every facet, in music and in literature or whatever. It's TV and movies.
Yep.
It's those things that, like, at the time you're looking at it like, okay, this is really weird, but then, like, maybe no one goes out as far as that, but then they'll stretch out further, and then eventually you'll have styles that you didn't really necessarily had before, because of that one thing. Yeah.
And how many things do you look back on years later and say, hey, they were really ahead of their time? People weren't ready for that then. Like, if that came out then,
well, especially how old they are. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about Dogfish Head is they don't have to experiment at all.
No, but that's their deal.
They don't have to,
but
they
anyone
do
who hasn't watched it, who's watching this, I mean, Beer Wars, just go and watch Beer Wars, and you'll get. I think that's about as honest of a documentary as you're going to get and related to the beer industry, and it gives you, I think, some really good insight as to what it's like to be a craft brewer, what it was like, say, 20, 30 years ago. Craft brewer. And what the industry was like, and what they were, how they treated them.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
I think people don't give Sam Adams enough credit in that regard.
Yeah, I agree.
They really had to push through it, any traction.
So they're a little bit more true to, I think, like, hey, we want to adhere to this type of style, and we want all of our beers to fall under this family. And then if you come to our brewery, we'll have a bunch of other things that you probably never tried and that we think are kind of cool or whatever. There are locals maybe like. But I think unless you're there in market, you kind of have an idea of what their philosophy is and how they do it. And I feel like Dogfish Head pushes the limits probably a lot more than definitely any brewer that's been around as long as they have.
Yeah.
They're the OGs, I think, in that.
Yeah, that has the rep that they have. I think that's the part that's crazy. It's outstanding about. And man, it's brave too, because Dogfish Head is big, but Dogfish Head is not as big as Sam Adams.
Yeah.
And they probably could have been. But they experimented a lot more things. And now they have a couple flagships that are iconic beers, but like, they also have like a myriad of crazy stuff, and they're a little smaller, and they're not in every store.
90-minute, 120-minute, that's kind of more their mainstream stuff, but I mean, they do it right. Those are so good.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. All right, so I am drinking the Xander,
baby,
the award-winning Xander from Bake Hands Beer Company, Brewing Company.
It's a good hazy.
Yeah, it is a hazy. It's, you know what? Okay, this is actually really good. And when I first had this, I had it. I don't know if I had it when we did our show, and I don't think I did actually.
I don't think they had brewed it yet.
I don't think they had brewed it yet. So I'm gonna say the first time I had it was at Brewers Ball, and I was drunk. So I drank it and I was like, oh, this is good. Okay, it's because it won the IPA award. So it's like, okay, this is good.
I think I kind of remember our conversation, and I think we probably unfairly compared it to our friends out in Louisiana.
Yeah. Which you don't want to do that. Well, okay, so we have a love affair, Justin, with Parish Brewing Company.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like one of your top IPAs.
Yeah, and so you can't compare it to that. That's like crazy, but it is pretty solid.
It's probably the best Florida, New England.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's flavorful, juicy. It's mosaic hops. So sometimes they use some different types of hops, but it's all mosaic.
I like that, the single hop profile.
Yeah. So it's definitely got that good hop bitterness and the juiciness, and it blends well. So it's not overly juicy. So it's not like it's not a juice bomb in that it's like crazy juicy and it's all weird and hazy and weird, and it's not overly hoppy.
Well, dry finish is one of their go-tos.
That's where New England's are going. They're getting juicier and juicier and juicier.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're trying to sell them to the novice beer drinkers. I feel like.
Yeah.
Gateway IPAs now.
Yeah, it's starting to become that way. They're starting to move in that direction. But this is solid though. This is just a good solid hot weather beer. Nice. Enough hop to kind of give you some real texture, but it's also juicy and it's thirst quenching. I get to a certain degree it's crushable, which we've talked a lot about crushable beers, whether you want them to be crushable or not, whatever. It's just crushable and it's good.
Or you just crush them while you're drinking them and you don't realize you're crushing them.
Don't realize it.
Yeah. Right.
They're good or quote dangerous, basically.
Mm-hmm.
This is somewhat dangerous because Xander is.
Yeah, what's the ABV on that?
6.5.
I mean, that's good. That's usually not the crushable range, right? The crushable range is usually sub 5. So
does it really matter? I think for a hazy, where the ABV is. I mean, for me, I think of like, what do I want to eat while I'm drinking it, or does it have just too much flavor to think about food? It could be 8%, it could be 4%. I think I wouldn't really care one way or the other.
Yeah. When I bought this 4-pack earlier, I'm sorry, Justin, go on.
I was gonna say there's a lot of beers I don't want to pair with food. Like they're too robust.
Kind of like a Dogfish Head, Syracuse Nera.
Yeah.
Or maybe some really, really dark chocolate, like 100% maybe.
Yeah, like a dessert pairing. Yeah, I was thinking more of like what I would have with like a dinner or something. It's like, no.
I mean, like a hazy that has a dry finish. I think you can do chicken wings. You can do pizza.
Yeah.
You can do it's simple chicken tenders.
Yeah.
I had this with wings earlier in the week, and it was actually good. I bought this a couple of days ago. So
I think as long as it's hot, I think hot food, I think is what you want.
Yeah.
Buffalo wings with like celery, I think would work well.
Yeah. It works.
At Bay Cannon a couple of days ago, I saw I liked your post about the the challenge, that buy from a local brewery challenge. So I'm going to be participating in that soon. I just picked up a bunch of beer. I've really been going about every weekend since the closures happened to get a bunch of beers. But I need to take a break for a little while. But I'll be participating in that very soon, probably this week or by the next weekend.
Got to let that wallet and that liver recover, right?
Yeah, no, really.
Yes.
I've been dropping $100 at least each time.
You know what? You will spend way more money going and buying beer at the brewery, especially if it has beer that you like. That's what I've learned. Like, you will spend way more money there because you're going to be like, oh, give me a crowler of that, and give me a crowler of that. And then
because it's all crowlers, I'm burning through it, right? Because I'm not drinking one at a time. I'm drinking 32 ounces at a time.
And the worst part is when you're by yourself, you're like, okay, I opened this crowler. I'm like, I got to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I have no one here to share with.
Oh yeah. It's been crazy. Okay, so I bought the 4-pack of Xander. This is the last one. Like, this is it.
Someone's going in my fridge and stealing my Xanders.
Yeah. Right. I know. I'm gonna see what's going on. Check my daughter, see if she's been taking it.
That's the good thing.
He hasn't.
Bud Light, you don't got to worry about kids stealing, craft beer. It's too much for them.
Oh, shit. Our last show, man, I had a chug one that was 4 years old. That's how long it's been sitting in my fridge. I was waiting to cook with it.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So, we had I don't know if you know Dave from Florida Beer Blog. He was on our show last Saturday, him and his producer of his show. And I guess there's a group called the Sanford Brew Club, Sanford, Florida, a little north of Orlando.
Yeah, by Orlando,
Yeah. So, as we were all indoctrinated into the beer club last Saturday, and as part of their initiation, we had to chug a beer. So, I sensed this was coming.
But this needs to be prefaced with the fact that I was already drinking an Imperial Stout when this happened.
Yeah. You don't want to chug that.
No, save that. Enjoy that.
Yeah. So I got the Coppertail has a lager. I think it's a lager. Yeah, it's a lager that it's something that they make. I got it from ABC, and it actually is really good. For good, I can actually see it being a good hot weather beer. I chugged it, but it was It's easy to chug. It was great. It was like kind of like what Bud Heavy should be.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's how we described it.
Yeah. So it was pretty solid. So yeah, so we chugged a beer last week. We'll make you chug a beer this week, Justin. We're not gonna.
Oh yeah. No one's getting indoctrinated.
Yeah.
How's that Dippa?
I like it. So this was a 4-pack, and I think this is my second to last. I think I have one more after this one. I mean, this is right in Calusa's wheelhouse. Like they're. I mean, this is a double, but they're really all about kind of the thick, juicy, hazy IPAs. And I mean, you can see the color in it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
Called Focus. That's like their most famous one. It's really juicy. This one's a little more balanced. I like it. It's I don't know if I'd call it bitter, but it's definitely strong. It's trying to look at the hops on it. Motueka hops, Motueka. Oh, they come from New Zealand. That's why I'm not really familiar with those.
Okay. Yeah.
Sound like an Indian name.
Yeah. But it's good. It's good. You know, I've really come to like their Citronius. I wouldn't put it up there with their Citronius. But actually even their Citronius Double, which I think is called Citronius Big.
Okay, I've heard of it. I think.
They have like and they have a bigger and biggest too. Actually.
Ooh.
They go up to a triple.
Is Citronius single hopped with Citra? Is that how they named it?
You know what? I honestly don't know. It is with a O, like instead of an A for the Citronius, so I'm not sure. I feel like there's more hops in it. But I'll have to actually look that up. I'm not entirely positive.
And
how would you classify what you got in your hand? Like, what would you eat with it? Are we talking steak? Or are we talking something totally different, like fried chicken? Or
definitely on the white meat side. I could do like a pork loin or like a seasoned grilled chicken kind of thing.
Okay.
Like lemon pepper kind of chicken. This is a little citrusy, but more on the lemon lime side.
Okay.
So I think that's probably why I'm kind of like leaning that way. But like a pork loin or like a dry seasoned kind of chicken breast would be pretty good with this, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn, that sounds good. That sounds amazing.
I've only had good stuff from Calusa. I really want to get down there.
Same here.
What you do. They're like 30 minutes south of me.
I think we had this last conversation last time we talked, and we're like, we need to coordinate. We're gonna go to Calusa.
Yeah.
Justin's gonna meet us there.
Yep, I'll go.
Well, I think that's kind of what I want to kind of get into. Part of what we want to talk about for the show is the state of breweries in Manatee and Sarasota. Because the one thing I will say about Calusa and Corporate Ladder, I only hear good things.
Yeah,
they're
both very good.
I've only had good beer from them. Mm-hmm. And so, like, what's the vibe with breweries down there? Are things I'm excuse my ignorance of whether Manatee and Sarasota County are reopening or not, but are they, are things reopening? How is it,
From what I've seen, only the breweries that have an on-site restaurant. So there's no food truck loophole. You have to have on-site restaurant sales. So Good Liquid and Three Keys have reopened. Yeah. And Three Keys just reopened on Monday. So that
Good Liquid has food?
Yes, they started making food. Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
They're now called Three Keys Brewery and Eatery. Or Brewery, Cidery and Eatery. It's like their full name now. But they're under new ownership. They got a new owner. Yeah. I want to say close to a year now, maybe like the end of last summer. Is when that happened. So they've actually changed their menu a little bit. It's kind of more focused. Like it used to have. Let's just be broader now that it's a little more focused. More kind of what you would expect on a bar food kind of menu too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I mean, it's basically pizza, burgers, tacos. So everything they do well.
Get your IPAs.
Yeah.
How's the IPAs?
Burger tacos.
Oh yeah,
pizza, burger, tacos. That's the first thing I think of. Like, get your IPA.
Oh yeah, or like a drink with it.
The food, pairing the beer with the food.
No, exactly. No, they know what they're doing, and they got a lot of spicy stuff too to keep you drinking, keep you thirsty.
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but they expanded their patio, so I heard they're doing 25% seating inside, but I think they're kind of pushing to more beyond they have now a front porch and a back patio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lots of outside seating now.
We talked about this in the last show. We were talking about like what are some creative things you're going to see breweries start doing, and I think you're going to start seeing an emphasis on trying to take the tasting room outside, where you can have, I believe, almost as many people as you want.
Yeah. No, that's one of those trends that's going to be definitely accelerated, due to everything going on right now. I have seen that in a few places. So like Eulalie, kind of by like Riverwalk.
Yep. Oh yeah. We know Tim Shackleton.
Yep. Yeah, they have an outside like kind of mini bar too, like in addition.
They do.
Stuff inside.
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah.
It's really cool because you can do the open container out on the walk.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's a great place.
Yeah.
They have a lot of space too. Like they actually have more space than they probably were utilizing pre-COVID, because we did like a tour and like back out to the outback with a brewery where they actually brew. Yeah. And they've got like a significant amount of space. And so I'm sure they probably, and it's a big restaurant. So like they won't have any problem covering, 6 feet distance. Eulalie is one of the bigger restaurants we have up here, but like
they got the upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah. So
and they're very corporate. Everything is very corporate, clean. Yeah. So like any like rules to the T, they're gonna follow.
So
they'll be fine.
Owned by the people who own the Columbia.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
the Gunsmarts. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. Y'all think you're gonna see that more, which is an interesting thing, because like, okay, so not everybody has a parking lot or a back patio. But if you have one, you're gonna win. Even if you have a parking lot, like I can see you. Like, because so like a place like Bay Cans, and Bay Cans has been coming up a lot because it's close to where I live, close-ish to where I live. They're telling me that they're going to start. And this is happening in a lot of places, that if you were within the city, you can actually put tables on the sidewalk, and that extends your service space.
Yeah.
And same thing in Ybor, like with Zydeco and all the other bars down in Ybor, they're closing 7th Avenue. And so you can have that. So it would allow you to extend the tables out a little bit further. Closing 7th Avenue is not a big deal, because when I was in high school and early college, and obviously me and Kevin are the same age, so the same thing. 7th Avenue actually closed it, and so like on Friday nights. So. Right. Basically you could it was just a walking thoroughfare from bar to bar, whatever.
Or stumbling, but yes.
Stumbling, and so that they're returning back to that, so they can so restaurants will have more space to serve people and not.
You can actually go out on the.
That's a good idea.
Road now. You can put tables out on the road, even. You're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. You totally can, because you'll have enough space, and because a lot of those places, I mean, as I sit and think about it, most 7th Avenue bars are actually smallish.
Yeah.
With the exception of a couple of the heavy hitters, like the Gas Bars, Grottos, and, stuff like that, which is like a big, is a big time place.
Other than like Gasper's and Coyote Ugly, like the rest are pretty small.
Yeah, the rest of them are like small.
Yeah, it's small enough they're narrow, that you have your space, your little unit there in this building that's probably 100 and something years old, and it goes straight back. And some will have like an upstairs like loft where they'll utilize that for like their business office and such.
I like the multi-floor ones. You can kind of go up to the different floors.
Very common down there, yeah.
And then the rooftop bar as well.
If they're lucky enough to have that, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So they're doing that, and Big Cannons, like I said, they're saying they were going to maybe use that's Main Street and Tampa.
Yeah, that's a hard spot to see it working greatly. But you know what? They've been defying the odds, I think, since they showed up. So I'm not going to bet against them.
They've been killing it, and they've got a good community. They've got people who are really down for them. I think they've done a good job They've got a job with social media, and they make good beer, and that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
You make good beer.
Number one. That's the most important.
People will find you if they make good beer, and they actually, So those things you're gonna see. If you don't have it, it's gonna be gonna be interesting if we don't have that type of space available to you. Like,
Yeah.
If you did an outdoor bar, are they going to push the 6 foot? Like, do chairs have to be literally 6 feet from each other?
I think yes, but is it not that way, or if it's?
I don't know. I'm asking.
My understanding is you still got
outdoors would be like, I feel like it would be less stringent than indoors would be.
It is, because you don't have to adhere to the amount of people.
Correct.
Because you're outdoors. Whereas inside, it's the 25%, but outdoor is just the 6 feet.
Right.
So if you have like a gigantic, like if you've got like Tampa Stadium, Raymond James in your back patio, as many people is that will allow 6 feet apart. But indoors, you have to have 25%.
Right.
Something I've heard for indoor bars is a lot of breweries are saying we're going to switch to table service, right? Because we don't want someone to come up to the bar. We have to wipe the bar down every single time someone puts
Correct.
on it.
Yeah.
So rather than have people even come up to the bar, I don't know how they're going to do this. Maybe they're just going to put like cones or a rope or something. But there's going to be one section of the bar that's like a line where you order, or you get table service. So, and that's probably still like a temporary thing, right? That's not going to be forever. But
I don't think so.
One of the solutions that are temporary solutions that I've kind of heard people talk about.
I can think of really creative ways to utilize this. So, like, obviously everyone knows beer pong. Well, yeah. I did work with a colleague years and years ago that was really into like having products over from China that were all based around like frat, like basically college level people were his target audience, and they actually had outdoor beer pong, and you could literally just take it was just a bunch of little individual like spikes that go in the ground that have a little metal cup holder. I feel like if you had those, and if you had those, and you had them about 3 feet in the air, you could just like have a giant like lawn and just literally make, instead of having tables, you could just have a spike in the ground with a cup holder.
There you go. Yeah.
And then you could obviously space them out
personally
fairly well.
I sit most of the day when I work, right? So like a lot of times when I go out, I want to stand. I don't want to sit. I wouldn't mind that at all. Like I would actually kind of enjoy that. As long as it's not outside.
You could even have a high chair next to it.
Okay.
If you wanted to. I think it's about having umbrellas to get the daytime crowd, if that's when it's going to make a difference for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just say you had a giant yard behind your brewery, and people can walk through and come into here, and you're gonna do most of your serving back here. You order here, whatever. Okay, we're gonna serve it back there. Go find a table or go find an umbrella, basically. Have a bunch of umbrellas, probably with some large breweries logo on them.
Right.
And then have the spikes in the ground where you have like, okay, here's a place to hold your glass.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to get and walk around. We don't care. You're outdoors.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it'll be interesting in terms of like for places that I don't know. Okay, I'm thinking about like say like an 8-1 Bay. Now,
Okay.
8-1 Bay has a lot of space, so they're probably fine. But they also
have indoor space though.
Parking lot. Yeah, and they have a gigantic parking lot.
Right.
That now I don't know they own. I don't think they.
Yeah, they share that though, because they're like in a plaza with a lot of other
Correct.
places. So
a few other places. There's space for a lot of places. I know because 8-1 Bay is close to where I live.
Yeah.
Not there. Okay, so there is probably at capacity. They could probably the businesses they would probably have capacity for I say like 10 businesses there.
Okay.
They are utilizing I think maybe 60% of that. I think
I'll say half, but yeah, probably like 60 maybe.
Yeah, because there's 8-1. There's a church. There's a Sally's Beauty Supply. There's like a small little like
the construction has been hurting everyone. So
and it's right up on the crosstown construction, so it's been killing that. It's crushing that area right now. So there's not a lot of space there. I don't know what type of deal they have with their. I mean, it's not my place to know that, but like they probably could extend tables quite a bit far into that parking lot if they wanted to, like, and just take less parking,
Even take like
I could tell you a place that could crush it if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Brewing Company. I mean, they've got like the space, they've got grass space, they got a parking lot space,
Yeah, they
and
have
it's
a
all
huge.
theirs.
Yeah, they have a huge amount of space up there.
Yeah,
The West Chase one.
yeah. They can annihilate if they want. But my guess is they don't see the need to do it yet, and also part of their business is still distributing.
Yeah.
So
Just for the
they've been
time.
basically just kind of doing the come buy it and leave type situation. But I have a feeling that's changing quick, and I'm curious to see how aggressive they're going to be about it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see because they're pretty savvy and they've been around. Obviously, they're like
On like Friday nights, they could open up both doors, let people walk all the way through the production line right next to the canning station, and go where they literally do festivals out back. They could
Yeah.
literally do a giant outdoor bar if they wanted to do it out there.
they could.
They got the space to do it. I think all they got to deal is just the heat.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess a little bit problem is also they got to deal with that and what's the political climate and well, how will people feel about because say people take advantage of it. And West
But
Chase
they
is
have
a
enough
big
space to be
suburb.
6 feet apart. They have enough space already.
Oh yeah, they have a ton
They
of
could
space.
easily handle the space.
Like if everybody we've mentioned here, they actually have the most space because
Yeah.
because they run festivals back there. So like
Yeah.
that's where they run Badass Beer Festival. So
Yeah.
like they have a ton of space.
They have a stage. I mean, hell, they can actually have a band out there playing while you're sitting there, under your umbrella.
It'd be interesting to see what they do. We should get Mike on the show and see what see what they're
Like, that's a good idea.
see what the plan is. So well, hey, all right. So okay, so that's kind of okay. So breweries obviously there's things are opening up back down down south, and that's good. That's obviously a positive for that because that's you guys live in a burgeoning beer area and, a lot of good breweries.
Yeah, so like that's the thing. Tampa's so established. Like there's so many breweries in the Tampa area that are going to survive this. My if this goes on all summer, there's a good chance AB InBev is going to come in and swoop up a bunch of breweries for pennies on the dollar, or something like that.
I hope not, but
I
you're
hope
probably
not,
right.
but I could see it.
No, I hope not too. But I mean, that's. But to-go sales seem to have been pretty good, and all I've seen reopening are restaurant breweries. So everyone else is and I've seen some host food trucks and to-go sales only. There's a lot that are doing that.
Yeah.
There's a lot that are just to-go sales, no food trucks. The hours are pretty. A lot of them are open 7 days a week. If not 7, at least 5. And the hours are pretty accommodative. Like they're open till 7-8 p.m. most nights, so you can go there after work. Like 12 to 7 seems to kind of be the most common hourly. So I mean, I don't honestly know how well the to-go sales are going, but
Probably not well enough is my guess.
Yeah.
And I think anyone's 5 days a week is probably quickly going to 7 because they're just to stay in business. And I think a lot of the jobs that they would have been having staff do, you're going to see ownership or whoever handle directly themselves.
To cut costs everywhere they can.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's kind of speculative at this point is like, okay, well, how well can to-go sales do? Some people are doing some breweries are doing really well to-go sales. And like we've talked about this, I think we talked about this last week. Even if you are killing it in to-go sales, I have a hard time seeing that it's going to compensate for what you were doing.
I think it depends how good you are on social media. If you're really good about promoting your brand and getting people excited about something that you're doing, but you got to be planning ahead. You got to be like almost already brewing it and going through fermentation, getting ready for carb. You have to basically be like that, and then sell it as a release. Like you want to be here to get this, and then you want to be doing it consistently, and then communicating with people about it.
Well, that's
why I think the social media side is big.
So I've seen. I'm glad you said that because I've seen kind of like two approaches, and what you just described is kind of like the corporate ladder approach. They have like a new specially released beer coming out every week or two, and it's relatively limited quantities. So it's totally like. First come, first serve based off of when the order was placed online.
While you're here, you'll buy something else too.
Yeah, well, you place the order online, and you're like, well, if I'm going to drive all the way over there, I'm not just going to buy one 4-pack.
I gotta get a 4-pack
exactly.
of that too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Of that. And they're smart about it. They're like, this is our specialty release. Like they had a bananas Foster sour. I didn't
There
get
you
it.
go.
You had to order it in the first 2 minutes it went live.
Oh,
It was
wow.
a limited release, but like you could only buy one. You can only buy one crowler of it. That's the only way they were doing it.
Right.
And they only had like one barrel, and like
Yeah.
it sold out in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But you know, people
And
aren't.
they probably had the best hour sales they've had in probably 6 months.
Exactly. Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, you're not just gonna buy one crowler, especially you know, even for me, Corporate Ladder is only a 20-minute drive. I'm not gonna drive there to pick up one crowler. I'm gonna pick up 10.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then the other approach is like the wholesale pricing approach. So $3 in St. Pete, all 6-packs are buy one get one, right? So I mean, you got to kind of think about in general, like wholesale to retail is about 50% of the cost. So that's essentially what they're doing. They're saying if you just buy directly from us, you know, we're only going to make a little bit more than what we would make if we sold that 6-pack through a grocery store.
Yeah.
Do they can on site? $3
on site to go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they're actually a distribution brewery.
Yeah. They have a huge space there, so you know.
I think there's fewer of those types of breweries than there are the corporate ladder side.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to me, I think if you want to follow a pattern, I would say the corporate ladder is probably what's going to work for more breweries.
Yeah, the more are set up to do that. They're not set up to you know distribute and everything themselves.
Yeah.
But even like Darwin in downtown Bradenton,
Mhm.
I think any crowler is like $7 or $8. I mean, if you go to the brewery and buy a pint, it's $6, right?
Mhm.
And like when I went, I got a 11% Belgian quad, $8, and a
There you
crowler.
go.
You know, it's the same price as a lager. So I mean,
Party at Justin's.
Yeah.
that was a good night. I made sure I saved it for a Friday, but yeah, I mean that some of them are setting their prices where it's like this. It's a pretty good deal. So I've been stocking up. I've gone to Big Top I think 3 times. I've gone to Calusa twice. I've gone to Corporate Ladder probably 4 times. Gone to 3 Keys 2 or 3 times. Darwin and Motorworks are a little like harder to get to, a little further away. So I've only gone to them once, but I'll probably go back.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you touched on is interesting. Is the different ways that you can do this, like, and it does fall along the lines of how big a brewery are you? You know, $3 can afford to do a BOGO.
Yeah, right.
They
They
make it.
have a canning line. They can themselves.
Yeah, so they can afford that. If you're a smaller, if you're a Corporate Ladder, if you're a Big Cannon, if you're even the superstars in the game like the Hidden Springs and the Arcane, you got to actually like you're building on exclusivity. You're making this one thing that's ultra high quality, and there's limited amounts of it. You know,
Right.
So
that's
you got to come and get it.
They're not giving any price breaks. Like their crowlers are $14, $15, $16, $18. And Calusa's kind of the same way. They're not giving any price breaks. Like
They probably have to just so they can stay even.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
No, probably. You know, with Big Top, they're doing buy 2 get 1. So that's what I've been doing.
Yes.
I'll get, you know, whatever I was going to get, I'll get 3 of it, right? Just to get, you know, the
Of course, get 1 for free. You save 33% basically.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's the thing where as this goes on, also brewers have to kind of figure out the psychology of buying. You know, like I mean, I haven't traveled very far, but like I went to Hidden Springs once. Hidden Springs is about 25 minutes ish from where I'm sitting right now. And so I bought like a very expensive crowler from there because like I'm like, if I'm gonna make it all the way here, all the way on the other side of downtown, I'm gonna buy something good. I'm gonna make it count. You know, like, you know, and so breweries are banking on that. And they're banking on, unless you're a bigger brewery that's breaking on volume, you know, which is, like I said, that's like Kevin said, that's a small percentage of breweries.
Right.
Most of them are like literally like, okay, you know what, we gotta get you here for this specialized thing, and we gotta promote the hell out of it because you're not gonna just be in the brewery and like, oh, we have it. It's gonna be literally like, I gotta see it online, and I gotta make a decision on, okay, I'm gonna leave the house. I'm gonna, you know, obviously I'm going to Publix and all that other stuff. can't do it. Sorry,
It's all good.
but yeah, I'm gonna leave the house. I'm going to, do all these things, and in the rotation, I'm gonna actually go to a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to this brewery, then I gotta make sure that it's gotta be. And that's really also, I've been buying a lot of beer lately too.
Yeah.
And it's because like I'm out here, I want good beer. I want to support the breweries too, but I'm buying stuff that I would not normally buy because I'm like, hey, I'm out here and I gotta actually make this count. I don't know when
Well,
I'm going.
I think ingestion, I think, is up. I think, or consumption, I guess. I think there's way more consumption, I think, than there was maybe even 2-3 months ago.
Yeah, I believe that.
And so you have to have enough supply to account for your consumption is higher, but also your routes that you're going are so much more restricted, and you're making so many fewer trips that all you can think about is I need sufficient supply.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to go out every single weekend. I don't,
Right.
I don't go out every day. So
Right.
yeah, I've been stocking up. That's why I easily dropped at least $100 in the beer.
I'm getting light in my fridge now, and I'm thinking, man, I got to stop just going to the grocery store and looking for deals or things that I want, because I keep walking past. And I admittedly, I'm a beer snob. I mean, hell, I homebrew and I have a beer podcast. But when I go down the beer aisle, I look for, well, what am I interested in? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I love 90. I just don't want to pay $15 for 4-pack. All right, so I like Two Hearted. Okay, but what else is there? And is there anything that piques my interest? Anything? Or is there a deal I can't say no to?
Mm-hmm.
And it gets hard, to find something that is exciting. So I think I would almost rather either make a special trip, maybe to like, is ABC open?
Oh yeah,
doing like just buy and leave.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I maybe let's do that. Just maybe like a trip to Total Wine and just find or go to Bottle Rack. Bottle Rack's always got like 4-packs of things that I want or singles that I want, and just say, don't worry about the price. Just find like 16 bottles you want.
Yeah, and for people who are really into beer, that's what's happening. That's what happened to me. I'm literally like, whereas okay, so like buying this 4-pack was not the cheapest, and normally it would give me a little more reason for pause, but I'm like, literally, no, I want it. It's good. I don't know when I'm really coming back here, because probably next time I go out, it's just going to be the Publix or Walmart, and that's it. Yeah. And so I got to make it count. And so I'll buy it. I'll spend the $18-$20.
Everything I'm drinking right now is like, oh, I was saving that for this. Or I was thinking like, oh, here's my special stock when I want to celebrate something. And I find myself, that's where I'm getting into now. So like, I still want to have like something I can have with a frozen pizza, because I'm still eating that way, and that's probably not going to really change, until things change, out there. But so I want something I can have with that and not feel ridiculous. And so now I'm at the point where all I have for hops is just double IPAs, and I'm like, man, I was waiting to have a steak or something with that. I wasn't going to do a frozen pizza.
Yeah, it's like drinking wine in a styrofoam cup.
Yes.
Right.
Well, wine is still phenomenal, but this is just not the right vehicle.
Yeah.
It's DiGiorno night.
Right.
Hey, you know what? If you know what you like in pizza, I feel like you can probably buy a pretty good pizza for $5, and then I would tell anyone, pick out 1 or 2 fresh ingredient items and go get 1 block of really good expensive cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I like Pecorino Romano, but if you like really good hard Parmesan, that will work as well, or Asazio if that's what you're into. I feel like if you just get 1 really good cheese and take a frozen pizza and add a little bit to it, put your cheese on, maybe a little scallions or cilantro, whatever, you can make it way more baller than what the box shows.
Pimp out your frozen pizza, so I think so. Yeah, no, I would fully agree with all of that. Like, so all right, so Justin, what have been some go-to styles that you've been partaking of lately throughout our quarantine?
So, we had like a little bit of a cool snap. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna take advantage and drink some porters and stouts.
There we go.
It's not like it was cold, but it was,
cooler.
AC's on. You're indoors.
Yeah.
So, Hawaiian Lion, the coffee coconut.
Okay.
Big Top. Palooza had this barrel-aged imperial stout called Boom Batter that was like with chocolate, vanilla, and lactose. So it's supposed to taste like Oreos. Basically, they couldn't say
Okay.
Oreos,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
definitely what they're going for.
Would
That
you
was
pair it with Oreos, or is it too much?
I felt like if I ate an Oreo with it, it would have like the beer wouldn't have tasted as good.
Or the universe would have collapsed or something like that?
Like, you have too much sweet, like of the actual sugar from the Oreo. So
It's like a shortbread cookie, maybe something like that.
I took a picture of it with Oreos, and I'm like, I gotta finish the beer before I eat the Oreos. If I eat the Oreos, it's gonna mess
Yeah.
up.
Sometimes that. Yeah. Sometimes it's like that.
But so I was on a little bit of a porter and stout kick recently. I also had the Big Top has it's called like the Okefenokee Imperial Stout.
I
But
saw
they
it.
put out a barrel aged version of it, so I picked that up in Crowlers. Other than that, I went on like a little bit of a sour streak. I was trying to get stuff that my wife would like more.
Yeah.
I'm getting all Crowlers.
Oh, that's right. Other people in the house also drink beer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not really beer, just sours and ciders and stuff.
My wife likes sours too.
Yeah, so
A lot of people looking right now, guys got angry. He says, not beer, but sours. What's he talking about?
well, it's still a beer, but well, I mean, I don't know. There's a difference between like a Berliner and like a really like heavily fruited, like almost like milkshake like sour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but Corporate Ladder had these imperial, a series of imperial sours. So I have their zombie, which like they made their own grenadine for, which I mean like it had such like high viscosity. It was so thick, like it was like V8 the way it poured. Like there was so much fresh fruit in it. I mean, it was good. It was definitely good. Three Keys had they've just been doing different stuff with their house Berliner. Like they did a Manatee version, they did a Karuba version. So I was doing sours for a while. I've kind of been kicking back to like lagers and pilsners a little bit.
There you
So,
go.
Okay.
Kolsch's. Like I don't mind a lighter beer if it's got that like it's got some good flavor to it.
If I could find an IPL, I might buy a case of it.
Yeah.
I want hops.
I
That's what I want in my fridge. I just want a giant supply of hops, and that way I can have anything, whether it be something that's actually good to eat or my.
I'm gonna grab a beer right quick.
Go for it. And so that's. I mean, if I think of like my mass consumption, what do I take? Like, what would I have a keg of right now? I'd love to have an IPL.
So
that's like really hopped out. Like I might even buy hops and dry hop the keg myself.
There you go. Yeah, just to have it.
Just hop the crap out of it. Find out what kind of hops it was and just buy that hop, obviously, and just let it sit there and just soak in.
Dry hop it. That's a good idea. I've actually I don't have a keg creator, and now I'm like, I need a keg creator. Like
you do. Just everyone does.
2 corny keg capacity is all I need, and I can just get 2 corny kegs.
I've got I can fit 4. I've got 2 taps, but I can fit 4. But you have to run picnics the other 2. But I'll tell you, for one person, 4 kegs is too much. I mean, that's a lot of beer.
But you're keeping them chilled, and then once you tap them, you use them till they're done, and then you put the chilled ones in.
Well, no. I've got a giant. I guess I could bring my computer over and show you. But I've got a French door fridge with a freezer on the bottom.
Nice.
And so I got about 31 inches of clearance. I mean, I pulled everything out and put down plywood, so I had a nice flat base. Reinforced it a little bit. So I've got about 31 to 32 inches. So I could put couplers in. I could put sixtels if I wanted to.
Nice.
But I've got cornies because I got like 5 or 6 of those kegs.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 is probably ideal for me, and I would want to go with something that has very hops, and then something that's probably, I mean, if I had my druthers, I'd go very high gravity on the other because you could just let it ride for like a year, and not have to worry about changing it out. But the hop side, you're going to want to probably get done in probably 5 months or so.
Okay.
But definitely there's enough space. But now if I want to run 2 additional kegs inside, I can. In fact, I've got 1 keg. This is the lazy man way to do it. I've got 1 keg that actually is it's just half water, or it's like water with a big load of this the Starsky. So I got basically Sandy, so I can just flush the lines out as soon as I'm done right there.
That's
without really having to do any work. But I could easily fit 2 additional kegs with picnics, and I've got 2 picnic taps, so I've done it. But I find I don't have enough people coming over here frequent enough to warrant 20 gallons of beer that's only going to last 6 months.
Yeah, true.
And I'll tell you what though, if you put 10 gallons of beer in your kegerator at home, you will find yourself when you're at the grocery store or you go to the brewery, you're going to be highly selective to what you're buying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah.
You're like, man, I mean, hey, I can have this at home. That's cool. If I have someone come over, whatever, it's interesting. Outside of something super interesting, you don't want to buy anything.
Right.
Because
you already have it. Yeah.
Like I got 8 gallons left. Shit, I gotta go make this and have that with it and stuff. Yeah.
Like I gotta finish this. Yeah.
But it's cool though. Like you can just go home. I work at the bar sometimes in my garage, so that's where the kegerator is too. So I can just decide, all right, I'm done working. I'm just gonna turn the TV on, veg out. And then when sports were on, because I watched a ton of hockey, that was the best. So 2 TVs, kegerator, bar, close the laptop, and let's just focus on hockey, for
awesome.
5 hours or whatever.
Yeah. That's the thing that's kind of the real true bummer of all of this. I mean, there are obviously a lot of true bummers, but like,
no,
I don't want to make.
Yeah.
But yeah,
people dying, but I want hockey.
Yeah, people dying, but like, man, I want to see Tom Brady in a Bucks uniform, whatever. So, but no, it does suck that like, sports isn't part of the mix because that's, there's something
Peas and carrots,
about,
baby.
Yeah, what's up?
Peas and carrots.
Yeah,
sports and beers, peas and carrots.
Yeah, because there's something about like either Saturday or Sunday, late morning, early afternoon.
Oh yeah, kegerator's right there with full kegs. Man, you're gonna be drinking beer early.
Yeah, like some good beer. Like if you feel inclined to grilling out, or even just like cooking something inside, whether it's just cooking some wings. I would like bake wings like on Saturday afternoons before USF games, or Sundays like right around 1 for the 1 o'clock kickoffs. Like grab some beer, eat some wings. It's bliss. Like I really hope we are able to do this year, and I don't care if it's empty stadiums.
I don't either. I just want hockey to start, man, and I want to see some football too in September. And I feel like I'm with you. I'm like, the arena can be empty. I don't care. You know what? I'll turn the sound down and just have music going if I can just watch them play, knowing it's real and it counts.
Yeah, exactly.
South Korea baseball started, and they put cardboard people in the stand.
I've tried watching it. It's just, I mean, if I'm up that late, I'm up too late anyways, which I am sometimes. But I don't know. I get bored really fast. Baseball's hard to watch.
I didn't try watching. I just thought the cardboard stands, the cardboard fans was funny.
Yeah. They're doing it. Soccer is a soccer stadium doing it as well.
Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, there's a UFC fight tonight.
Yep.
That's. I mean,
are they gonna have an audience too?
I don't think they're gonna have an audience.
Not a live audience.
But they don't really need it, to tell you the truth. I mean, they can just fight. Yeah, if you fight and you got announcers talking over what's happening, and you got if you can get the sound of them punching each other, you don't need the crowd to cheer because it happens.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I think there's a certain level of excitement in having because I was a very much a be in the stadium type of person. I was a writer for a bunch of years. I fan for even longer, and since I stopped being a writer for sports, I really made a point of going to as many sporting events as I could possibly go to. There will definitely be a difference, but sports are sports, and I think UFC specifically because that's more of kind of like a high-end exclusive crowd. And most of the people who love UFC are watching it at home anyway, or they're watching it in a bar or whatever, And I think it's almost kind of like the Super Bowl in that, like, if someone gave you 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, if you can find a way to get there, you go. But that's not going to keep you from enjoying the Super Bowl. You won't enjoy the Super Bowl any less than you would have enjoyed it anyway, So, and I think that's my dog. I think okay, all right. And so, so I think that's going to be how it's going to be. I don't know that I'm going to tune in tonight for it. It's pay-per-view, so I'm not going to. But I think the undercards are like maybe ESPN. So I think you can watch some of it if you wanted to. But
I'll have to check out DFS to see if DraftKings has anything happening for it. They probably do, but I mean, maybe if I can get something in there that looks or figure out how the scoring system works, maybe I'll do that, and then might be interested in watching it. Outside of that, it's just a hard sport to watch.
Oh yeah. UFC, you have to be into it.
If I want to see two guys beat each other's brains out, I'll just get really drunk in Ybor.
Man.
Pay-per-view. You know, I was thinking, like, you know, for football, they make so much money on the TV contracts. Like, who cares if people want the stands? You just got to play the game, so you get the TV contract money coming in. For UFC, they're losing out on a whole market that's the bars, right? Because there's so many people that go to a bar to see a UFC fight.
And the pay-per-views. I mean, it's getting people to buy the pay-per-view to see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So do you think more people? That's interesting. Do you think more people will buy pay-per-view rather than go to the bar, or people who would go to the bar just gonna say, you know, fuck it, I'm not gonna.
Well, the bar has pay-per-view, and the bar pays a different rate than the user does.
Yeah.
So if you see a bar with like direct, like if you see a bar and they've got like the Sunday ticket, they're paying like 10 times what I pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say right or wrong, the businesses pay way more to have access to that stuff.
Well, yeah.
So the bar he's talking about, what they'll do sometimes is if they can't advertise it, knowing they're going to get a full house, and obviously, which is what they want to sell product, then they might charge at the door.
Yeah.
So in COVID situation, I think you'd see bars charge at the door to try to offset whatever the cost is to get that pay-per-view.
Yeah. I would probably say so, because I mean, before I think you were starting to see more bars not paying, but like they're going to sell product, like
right.
You know, and they're going to sell it late, like you'll be 1 o'clock in the morning with a packed bar, which doesn't necessarily, unless you're outside of Ybor, that's not.
And they'll keep the kitchen open too, just to keep moving, you know, all those other things that they make profit off.
Yeah, so you probably see less of that, I would imagine. I mean, it's just like I said, it's crazy. Who knows what the hell's gonna happen? I don't know. You know.
I think we could totally have empty stadiums. I mean, I think you're gonna have that until there's the liability is relieved. I think that there's the league and the people who own the stadiums don't want to be liable for having people in there who can trace back to getting it to this and then So I think until you have a vaccine or something where the government is literally alleviating the liability to the facility, I think you're going to see mostly empty stadiums. But honestly, television is what drives sports, and so all you need is the sport to be played, and it'll be televised.
Right.
Yeah, and they're driving a lot.
We're on a podcast talking about Korean baseball.
Yeah.
That should tell you everything you know right there.
Because
it wouldn't even exist. It wouldn't even matter if it wasn't for the fact that we're dealing with this and that actually is being played and being televised.
I just want it selfishly. I just want the sports on TV.
I agree.
To watch them. Like that's.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I played hockey DFS every day for I don't know how many years straight.
Yeah.
And so not having that feels like I feel like I've retired from a job. It's what it feels like.
Oh man, you know I'm starting to do now is I am going back and watching all the games from the 2002 Bucks season, the Super Bowl season.
I feel like I would be nostalgic and appreciative and like half smile, but still feel like I'm gripping my hand harder than normal because I'm like, gosh, I want to watch something new.
It's an interesting. Okay, so I am a game and a half in, right? So New Orleans game.
Yeah, they lost overtime. I was there.
Yeah, and Baltimore. So
which they win the shutout. So you're gonna see Derrick Brooks run 90-something yards to seal it.
Yeah. I haven't quite got to the end of the game yet, but
spoiler.
Well, spoiler. Thanks. 18 years late, but you know, so I'm watching it now just because why not?
Yeah.
You know, and so it's interesting. Now, what I'll say about this, just not become a sports podcast, but like, you know, we used to do a sports podcast, but but one thing that's interesting about watching games on replay, two things are interesting. One, if you're really into sports, and I'm really into the Bucks, like huge. Matter of fact, it's cool to watch these games because it was
well, they were good.
They were good. We were good.
Yeah.
It's a different time.
They're relevant.
You know,
Oh yeah, John Lynch could kill people back then, right? It was exciting to watch receivers go over the middle and see him split
And the
up.
rules were different too.
Yeah, no,
well,
exactly.
yeah. Well, yeah. So that's a third thing. Okay, so I'll start with that. One thing that you'll realize watching the 2002 season, just in the early on, there are three guys that are like ridiculously good, and I don't know got enough credit. John Lynch, he's who kill people, like kill.
Yeah.
Ronnie Barber, even though he had the really good year the year prior, but still like ridiculously good. And Simeon Rice.
Oh yeah,
Simeon Rice is
Simeon was unblockable. I said if Simeon could play shirtless, he'd average 10 sacks a game.
Oh yeah, he told him, right?
Because that was the only thing stopping him was people grabbing him.
Yeah. If you could just put like Vaseline on the jersey, you know.
Oh no, he would just sweat. His natural sweat would be enough to. He'd be like a greased pig.
Yeah.
But if he could just play shirtless, and they couldn't grab him, or they had to grab, if they had to grab like his arm to hold him, he would just go right past them. I mean, he was built to get around the edge. Like when you think of like what the edge, if I think of edge rusher, how they define the position, I think Simeon Rice instantly comes to mind.
Yeah.
He actually had a repertoire of moves too. He could actually turn and spin and come inside too. So he knew how to set guys up. He was a pass rusher. That's what he was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's one thing. The fact that how good they were, but their offense was still wonky. It was
getting installed still. It was still Gruden's offense.
Yeah, it was like death by 1,000 paper cuts. Like
correct.
It's insane.
And the kicker was good. Grammatica was really good that year, which was key to winning some games.
Yeah, he was automatic. Like he literally.
That's a good kicker the Bucs had.
Yeah,
probably so. Yeah, that or the guy that hit the field goal against the Eagles.
Shoot.
Matt Bryant.
Yeah. Oh, Matt Bryant. Yeah. No, Matt Bryant.
Oh yeah, that's right. Matt Bryant.
He was more as a Falcon, but yeah, he was good. The Bucs should have never got rid of him.
No, they shouldn't have. And then also the last thing is the commercials.
Oh my goodness, I didn't think about that. Shit, that's really old.
Yeah, commercials.
And I gotta think, fourth quarter in 2002. So it wasn't an election year, so you're not getting bombarded with crap about re-electing like W. So what was the commercials in 2000? The beer commercials, obviously, probably Propecia or some kind of
Coors Light. A lot of Coors Light commercials. Early on in the season, there's a lot of commercials for the MLB playoffs. A lot of Yankees commercials, a lot of Jeter. They pumped Jeter hard back then.
They weren't pushing A-Rod back then?
No, because this is pre A-Rod.
Oh, A-Rod's in Texas, I bet.
Yeah, he's a Ranger at this point. So,
okay.
So yeah.
Like erectile dysfunction. Was there like
no, I did not see. No, I think this is actually like a skosh before all of that. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think this is like 2 or 3 years in advance of Cialis commercials.
So, but then like fast food.
Yeah, a ton of fast food, a lot of junk food.
What about like home like to protect your security type stuff? Like no.
Not a lot of that. No,
wasn't that. I can't tell how old that personal security.
You know what commercial they have it's a Coors Light commercial. Remember they did the commercial with the twins?
Yeah.
It's hyped these like blonde, tall
and twins.
Yeah. That campaign was a lot. That was a heavy campaign in 2000.
Obviously, that was an effective campaign. We're talking about it 18 years later.
Yeah.
Kudos to that copywriter, whoever they were.
Okay, brilliant. But yeah, brilliant. But I don't know. So back to beer.
Has anyone's beer flavor profile changed? Oh, granted, I know I'm drinking a big one, but this thing has gotten like, I still get the wine taste, but I get kind of like when red wine, like you're getting to the end of a glass of red wine, like really strong red wine, like a Syrah, like tell you about as strong as it gets. It's just like the everything changed. The tannins are coming in. I feel like I'm drinking an imperial stout with tannins.
That's what I love about those really complex beers. Like you pick up more and more as you go. You said that one was pretty complex.
It is.
It's
I mean, I've had more complex where the flavor was like, wow, like there's like a freaking orgy on my tongue or something. But this is just more about like the how bold the flavors are, and I they're kind of at war, but it's kind of like a co-opetition. So it's like yeah, it's like, well, we're kind of working together, but we're still kind of competing with each other. And it's like, are you getting more chocolate note? Or are you getting more just straight up tannin note?
Yeah.
Are you getting more like dark cherry?
Yeah.
I almost feel like I want to have like a glass, like a cab or a Syrah on the one side, and then maybe just a regular imperial stout.
See how it,
yeah, and just kind of taste them and say, what am I getting more of? And so
Yeah, was that like cask aged or something? Was that like?
It's the specific. It is oak aged. And now here's the thing. I've been a Dogfish Head fan for a long time, but I don't know their beers well enough to know if they just have a regular Siracusa Nera or if it only comes oak aged. But the label specifically says oak aged Siracusa Nera. And their interpretation of this is the Russian Imperial Stout with Syrah grape, and then aged in oak. So to me, I think that means that they added wine grapes and then they just found an oak barrel and aged it. But I don't get any of the oak at all. I don't get any vanilla note or anything. I just get big fat beer with tannin.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, what are other people saying about it? Like,
oh, that's good. Actually, you know what? I had that up in case that you asked that question. See, this is what preparation does. So let's check 3.74 on Beer Buddy, which is piped in from.
Okay, not bad.
I think is that the. I can't remember where the data comes from now. Let me see if I can. Their description: combining a roasty imperial stout with a jammy Syrah wine. This beer is bold and complex. When they say jammy, that makes sense because when they probably go to a secondary, it's probably a lot easier to have something that's more of like a pulpish than it is to put like actual wine in there.
Yeah.
Notes of coffee, dark chocolate, and anise. I did not get any star anise out of this, but I wasn't thinking about that. From a blend of roasted malts meld with flavors of plums, cherries, and stewed fruits from Syrah grape. Must in this jet black stout, aged on American oak to add some light toasty vanilla to the mix. The vanilla is not really coming through for me really at all, and it only has 154 reviews. Mostly good
for a really specialized beer. That's a lot, you know.
Yeah, and most of these are saying bottle. Like you're not gonna find this on tap, I think, unless you go to that brewery or you just some very strange randomness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but the reviews are coming from like California,
quick fill up,
Florida, and it was brewed and bottled in Delaware. So, I mean, you have to pay homage, I think, to how good they do it there in regards to. I really appreciate the whole bucket attitude. I really do. I mean, it's like yeah, we're good and we got a reputation, but you know what? I don't care. I'm just gonna swing for the fence. And I feel like when they swing for the fence, it's like, well, as long as I can drink it, well then shit, let's bottle it.
You got to push forward, you know.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again. I appreciate that a lot, you know. Like they're not going to all be home runs, but if it's drinkable, right? And
if I'm thinking of like think of an imperial stout, like what, Old Rasputin, or what would be like a home run imperial stout?
Oh, Rasputin's a good one.
Rasputin's a good one.
Internationally, you know, recognized one. I mean, the one I most recently had was the Calusa Boom Batter, which was But
they added flavor to that.
Yeah,
so,
I don't like lactose really about that.
All right, so we'll say Rasputin's a home run. This is a really, really deep fly out. Like it's not like an out, like it's worth nothing, but it's kind of like wow,
they almost got there.
This is almost a home run.
Yeah.
Warning track, sack fly.
There you go. Yeah, it drove a ribby in.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Doesn't count as an out for the batter.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so closing out a couple different questions. The first one, Justin, is when things truly open up, and I know they're kind of opening up a little bit already. Where are you going?
I plan to go to Three Keys really soon because they're kind of open. They're like semi-open. Right?
Yeah.
So I'd like to go there. have I'm a mug club member. I'd love to use my mug and fill it up.
They would love for you to come and use it too.
Yes.
They would, yeah.
And I'll get food as well. But when things really open up, I would like to make a trip somewhere like to Tampa, to maybe even Orlando. Like I want to do like a big thing. Like I don't want to just go. Like I want to go to all the places that are like hyper local that I normally would go to anyways. But I also kind of want to like celebrate. Like I want to like take everybody and like go. Like just I don't know, probably Orlando or Tampa and somewhere there.
Yeah.
And maybe even go somewhere I've never been yet, but like has kind of been on my bucket list.
I got an interesting idea
like
because you actually you would take 75, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Usually, unless I'm going to like West Tampa or like Pinellas County, I'm gonna take 75 up. Yeah.
Well, I got an interesting idea. I think there's a place that's kind of in between all three of us.
Okay.
It's I think Johnny's gonna know really quick where I'm going here. It's gonna be off Kings Avenue.
Oh,
Brandon.
Yeah.
Stein and Vine.
Great food, great beer place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stein and Vine has very good food, has very good
in
beer.
our area. Yeah.
They don't brew on site. They're gonna just resell, but
They source.
Their collection's very good and their food's very good.
Yeah.
That would probably be a pretty great spot for the three of us to meet up. And it's literally almost equal distance for all three of us.
Probably so.
Johnny's probably closest.
It's gonna be a lot
Johnny's
further for
probably
you
closest.
though. Like Kevin.
Well, that's all I can think of. That's good. That's off 75. That probably has food.
Yeah, it's not even really off of 75, but like you can get to it. I mean, it's not like you would take the I think there's a 301 exit.
Yeah.
75, and you take that, and you gotta get to I think it's Bloomingdale Drive.
Right.
You gotta take that out.
Yep.
Pretty much almost. You gotta take the King, so almost like the Valrico area, so pretty far east, and it's in like a strip plaza.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
It is, and all the sign says over it is bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all it says.
Yeah, but it's literally.
But you will see people waiting in line to go in, and they're holding a baby.
Yeah.
No, it's legit. I drank a McKellar's 2000 IBU beer there. That should tell you everything you want to know.
Yeah. They'll get really good stuff because the funny thing with Steinbein is they're about a mile or 2 miles further out from what I think is actually maybe the best liquor store in our entire area. A place called Winthrop Liquors.
Yep.
It's off of Bloomingdale, and they have everything of everything. And it's small. That's the crazy thing. It's like a small little place, but they have everything. And they're super knowledgeable about everything. Like so if you're a bourbon person, they have a ton of bourbons, and they'll be able to and they'll not be like, oh hey, we have it, because bourbon's hot, so a lot of places have a lot of good bourbons, but they'll be able to actually tell you about it, and they'll also be able to tell you about good beer and any style you want, anything. Like literally, they will try to upsell you. If you're like, oh, IPA, they're gonna try to sell you the most expensive IPA.
Right.
And if you want an Imperial, they're gonna get you, but they know their stuff flat out. They just know it. This guy, their beer guy's name is Morgan. Morgan at Winthrop Liquors he's the guy to talk to if you want good beer. If you want good beer recommendations, Morgan Winthrop is the guy to talk to.
This sounds like an evening. It sounds like we would need to hit the liquor store. We would need to be nighttime so that we can put our beer in the car while we're inside the restaurant and not worry about it, too much heat.
Yeah.
And then obviously we would have a meal with some beer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's like I said, they're on the same street. They're literally about coming like 2 miles apart, and they're like, it's crazy because there are not a lot of critically acclaimed things in East Hillsborough County.
Yeah, at all.
But literally two of the best things culinary wise in the area are literally on the same street about 2 miles apart.
It's a craft food place that takes beer very seriously.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of places that I think that would qualify for that.
No.
Yeah, because you go to a craft beer place, you're probably not going to get the best food. And it's not
Correct.
breweries. It's just the
Or
fact.
you go to a craft food place, they want to sell you wine.
Right. Yeah.
Well, no, here we've got these things that we're gonna do that you probably won't see anywhere else. This is what we're serving tonight, and we've got phenomenal. Like they probably have $600 and $700 six-till kegs. They got probably expensive stuff there. They've got bombers that they'll sell and like for $30-$40.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't see a $30-$40 bomber at a restaurant very often.
No, not at a legit restaurant. Like not a place that's restaurant first.
Yeah.
And I would say Stein and Vine is more restaurant first.
Yeah, it is.
So highly recommended. We'll have to work it out. we'll make it happen. So
I'm down for that. Whenever the world opens back up, and Stein and Vines and allowing us in there, let's do it. That sounds great.
Well, I guess just keep praying for a vaccine because I think that's the only thing that's going to make it happen fast.
Yeah. It'll be a little while, but I don't know.
Maybe Christmas. Maybe Santa will deliver a vaccine. That'd be really nice.
That's what I'm looking for. Christmas miracle. So, yeah. All right. So this other thing is, all right. So we've been doing these little like beer, like what would you pick challenges or whatever. And so I'm going to show you a screenshot.
Okay.
And it's going to pop right up. Awesome. I'm getting better and better each week. This is getting easier.
And look how I was here the whole time. You don't have to wait for me to show up.
I know, that was great.
Is like increasing.
We're getting so good at this. Oh man, video. All right, so
are you able to zoom in a little bit?
Yeah,
that'll work. Yeah, there we go.
All right, I'm gonna try to get. What we'll have to do is I'll have to scroll each.
That's fine. Yeah, but you can read it now. You can totally see what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. So you gotta pick 4 beer styles to drink, and these are 4 beer styles for the rest of your life.
So you're not picking a row; you're picking any 4 styles on here.
I believe so.
All right, I like it.
Yeah. Let's do it that way. All right. So,
Justin, you're the guest, buddy. You got to go first.
I will. So 4, and that's all I can have the rest of my life.
Yes. And so let me set this
now,
up.
We're not telling you how long your life is. We might kill you right now.
All right, so
what's the bottom row, Johnny? I'm sorry, just put it down there so we can see that. So just an American style with a sour, a wheat wine. What the hell's a wheat wine?
Like a barley wine, maybe?
No, that looks too light to be. The American style wheat wine looks definitely not a barley wine.
Yeah,
so it's that. It's a wheat wine.
It's a wheat wine. It's what it is, Kevin. It's what it is.
Obviously. What was I thinking?
Oh, yeah, because there's barley wine up here. Because this is barley wine. Yes. All right.
Is there like a blonde barley wine? I'm not familiar with that.
No, I've never seen that. I'm sure someone's working in the lab.
I don't think it's real. I think somebody's fucking with us. I don't even think it's real.
That's not real style. Whatever.
Put this out there and let's see what these honkies say about this wheat wine.
All right, so that's row 1, row 2, 3, and 4.
All right, so I'm definitely doing the amber, the American amber ale.
Not the American amber lager.
Oh, sorry.
I noticed too. There's a difference.
Lager. All right, yeah, American amber lager, obviously. Not the lager, not the ale, the lager.
Oh, the lager.
The lager, yeah, because I need a lager. And then the pale ale, the American pale ale.
Okay.
Is that on the 3rd row?
It is, yeah. So they have a pale ale and they have an IPA. I'm probably going to do both.
Okay.
But if I had to, I'm just making sure what I'm going to have for 4. So the amber lager, the pale ale. If I have the ambers, I don't think I need the wheats. Like the amber lager's kind of enough for me on the lighter side. So I think I'm going to go APA, IPA, amber, and then...
So Justin's never going to drink a beer at the beach, ever.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So here's...
You drink IPAs at the beach?
I guess you could, yeah. Or the pale, maybe.
That's what the amber lager's for. I wish we had some type of like Pilsner type thing. I would consider that. I think I'm gonna go with so it's right now it's between the porter and the stout.
Okay. And I notice there's a lot of, like, you have an American stout, which I presume to be like our version of like an Irish 4% stout. And then you have your Imperial, which goes without saying. And then Russian is not mentioned at all, is it?
No.
These are all American styles. Okay, they're all
American styles. So
okay.
America.
Yeah, so then I'll do the porter. Then I'll do the porter 4. So amber, porter, IPA, APA.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. And it's an Imperial porter.
Yep.
Cool. All right, Kevin, you're up.
Well, it instantly a go-to for me is going to be, I would probably, since they have them right next to each other between the American IPA and just the pale ale, I'm just going to presume to mean that they're both probably dry hop the fuck like crazy. I will probably go with the pale because I'm just going to have that as my low alcohol beer. I kind of feel like if I was to include the American sour, I would probably always have something that I could go to that would be like, hey, when I'm feeling weird or naughty or whatever, I'll just go have an American sour, and if I want to have a beer in the pool, I have a beer I can have finally. But I don't know if I would actually do that or not. Imperial Stout, absolutely. Imperial Porter, absolutely. So that would leave me with one beer with just a pale. And so that's why I was thinking possibly the sour. Yeah, fuck it, why not? Sour, both Imperials, and a pale ale. So I got my food beer, I got my nighttime beers, and I got my pool beer.
Okay. All right. For me,
I mean, it's got to last me at least another 40 years. So.
I know, long time. Hey, man. All right, so I think this is actually this might be pretty easy. I'm gonna do the IPA for sure. That's gonna be like my just easy.
That's your Tuesday night beer.
Yeah. That's Tuesday. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with the Imperial Porter because I'm gonna want a porter, and I'd be fine with just a regular porter. But if this is it for forever, like I'm gonna need something a little stronger sometimes, and so that's why I have to go with the Imperial Porter. I think my third one, I'm probably gonna be pretty boring. I'm probably gonna do pretty much the same things. I would probably say the IPA, the Imperial Porter.
I would have considered the cream ale if I could like pick it. Like if this is like a Rob Larson Grindhouse honey cream ale.
There's a wide berth in terms of cream ale.
That's pretty good. And in the Brett, like how strong is the Brett Essence, on the Brett? Is it gonna punch me in the face and knock me out of the chair, or is it like not that bad?
Honestly, and my other two would be actually, I'd probably go with the brown ale and the amber ale. To give myself a little bit of variety, so I can hit all colors.
There you go.
And different.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, exactly. Rainbow coalition of beers. So.
I noticed nothing says coconut. I feel bad for you because I feel like you got to have a coconut beer. So like if we could just infuse coconut for Johnny's Imperial Porter, I feel like he would be like mostly happy with that.
Yeah, porters are big for coconut.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I'm gonna assume that like in that Imperial Porter, that's coconut. Someone will infuse some coconut at some point in these years.
Or you're trapped on an island and you can just roast your own coconut and just add it.
I can just do it myself. Yeah. Exactly. So. All right.
Well, the brewer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Justin, this was awesome.
Yeah, this was fun.
Thank you so much for having us. We really do appreciate, for being here. We really appreciate you coming on our show. Keep trucking.
Thank you for having me. And when you come down to Calusa or Corporate Ladder or anywhere down here,
or both,
and let's make the Steinenwein happen.
Absolutely. I think it's two different trips, but I totally agree that we need to make it happen.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out what was that bar that we almost closed down that one night when we left.
Oh man. Okay. So all right. So Jessica was around for this, but like when we did our show with Good Liquid.
Yeah.
We at the end after the show we went out to the Kangaroo Pub.
Oh, Lost Kangaroo.
Yeah. Lost Kangaroo.
Yeah. And we ordered a pizza from next door, and we were just. Yep. I think we had a Dogfish Head bomber there.
Yeah. We pretty much closed that place down, like, because it was like the only thing that was open. Mm-hmm. It was like on Tuesday night, because this is like it was during the week, so like it
was surprisingly busy. It was like wow, I guess this is the only hot spot in town.
Downtown,
like everybody under the age of like 50 or 60 was like there.
Downtown Bradenton is like if Ybor City was a half a block.
Yeah.
That explains it.
It's just right there, and there's like 3 bars and
a pizza joint,
and then like a couple like hot dog carts. And then that's it.
So basically, we were hanging out with locals. Like people they all like lived probably like within a block of there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a good time. That was like a good whole, like everything about it was actually pretty good, because we were there. I remember someone gave me, I think I talked to the manager of the pub at some point, because I have a card. Like,
there you go.
Like one day I was just looking through my cards. I was like, the Lost Kangaroo.
Well, you remember the name. I couldn't even tell you what the name was.
Yeah.
That's the place.
It's a little smoky. That's the only thing.
So how far is that from you, Justin?
So I live on. So that's right off State Road 64. I'm off State Road 64 east of the interstate. So I mean, like it's about 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Not that far. Maybe 20 minutes, depending. It's usually like 20 minutes there, 15 minutes back. For whatever reason, it's always quicker to get back home than to get.
I had no idea Bradenton was so spread out, but I guess that makes sense. Manatee's not a small county.
So. No, Manatee's huge. I technically don't live in Bradenton. I live in what's technically Parish, because I'm much further east.
Okay.
But I mean, like I would get on State Road 64, and I would be there pretty quick.
Oh, okay. So we'll meet you at the Kangaroo Pub, with the Lost Kangaroo.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of the night.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Here's how you do downtown Bradenton. You start at O'Bricks. O'Bricks is the classier place. And then when you're done with O'Bricks, then you go to Lost Kangaroo.
Nice. Okay.
That's the way to do downtown Bradenton.
Because obviously, when I think of Bradenton downtown, I think of classy. That's the way that I want to do it.
I mean, Bricks is where they have the UFC fight on, and it's messy mortar exposed brick on the inside. It's very.
Hence the name.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah.
You'll probably kick in there tonight.
Oh well, maybe not tonight, but in a month or so, hopefully.
In normal times, yeah. This summer, So for sure. Okay. Well, Justin. Okay. So absolutely, it was great having you on, and we'll definitely.
Glasses are empty.
Glasses are empty, almost empty. Mics are off. This is Craft Beer Ballers.